Today is October 4th, 2010, and I guess once again we have to have a conversation. So I'm going to have this conversation with Nithyananda directly, I guess. The last time I spoke to you in person was August 21st at the eKalpataru program over the internet, which I asked you if it had your permission to stay 63 days in your program. That I'd made application to your 48-day program, which was called the Living Enlightenment, October 10th. You said yes, I could come, and I did. I was 7 days late to the program, but I arrived on the 28th of August. I arrived to be confronted by Swami Bhakti. I apologize if I mispronounce the name. I mean no disrespect, but was confronted by him. He's in this picture right here. And he was very suspicious of me and asked me who I was, and he told me that, I'm going to give you 3 days, and I'm watching you, and there was this weird sort of spirit there. I was like, where did this come from? It sure wasn't, what I kind of perceived by this organization, by meeting all these nice people in Montclair, and then I meet him, and he's telling me, I'm watching you, and this kind of stuff. And I thought, wow, kind of made me feel kind of spooky. Here I am in this, foreign country, and all of a sudden I'm getting this guy staring at me and telling me, he's watching me or something. And he continued to say to me the next couple days, be careful, be careful. And this was spooky. So I was getting spooked out over there. Well, then I slept that first day. The second day I went into Biddy to get some cash, and when I came back, I guess I'd missed the morning session, and that's where Nithyananda, you had released your levitation to the world. Well, now you can do whatever you want. But my reaction to that was very simply, I didn't fly 9,000 miles to bounce around like that, like a bunny rabbit with a blindfold on. I thought that was ridiculous, because I could do that in L.A. You can do that in San Jacinto, right next to the Scientology Center. I don't need to do. I came to India to feed the poor and see the sick being healed, or be some good to humanity, not to bounce around like a bunny rabbit and people tell me that you are God or something. Okay, so that was my opinion. So I decided to leave. I talked to Bhakti Swami, and I told him, look, this is not for me. And I also told him that, my grandfather built a church exactly 2.96 miles from this temple. And that, but my people were not people that were going to, stand outside with picket signs and say, something against you. But that you also had to respect me, that you built your temple 3 miles from my grandfather's church, 3 miles from the hospital I was born in, San Antonio Community Hospital I was born. And I said, you need to respect me, because I came to India to see who you were. That's exactly what I told him. I asked him to not contact me. He said, fine. So now I find out that I've never been contacted, and I come to find out that they're contacting my minor daughter, asking her questions about me and whether I'm going to the temple. Well, now that's real spooky. So yesterday I went over to the temple, and I talked to Dhyanatma, who's a very nice girl, young, nice girl, but and told her that I was not happy. She had seen the video, said it was a misunderstanding, that they had not released my phone number, or my daughter's phone number, to any stranger, that it was actually a part of the organization. They were making calls from India. And I explained to her that I thought that was a kind of strange. That was spooky to me as a father, to know that some guy from India was calling my daughter on her cell phone after I had said that I wanted to leave, and that and she admitted in this conversation that we had that they had kind of looked around at my blogs and realized that I'd changed them, and didn't think I wanted to be contacted. Yet they took it upon themselves to contact my daughter. So I told her that was not okay, very strongly. Now, understand this, that I also knew this. I told her specifically to not contact me, and definitely not to contact my minor daughter in this conversation. Now, I want you to know something. I also did something because the better part of me told me that they weren't going to be able to do it. That this organization is not in them to hear the word no. And so I recorded this conversation, and I've included it here, where I tell her, and I'm telling you, to leave me alone. Okay? To leave my daughter alone. Do you know what that means? It means no. It means you don't reach out in any way. It means you don't send little emails. You don't reach out in any way. So what happens? Today I get an email. It says here, Steve, you're receiving this email from Nithyananda Dhyanapitam Ashram in India. We'll be soon releasing a few free hand-picked series of groundbreaking videos, articles, and meditations by Paramahatma Nithyananda to you and the rest of our current subscriber list. I said yesterday I'm not a current subscriber to remove me. Now, what do you think the next email that came through? To my daughter. Same email. Current subscriber. Nicole, we're releasing videos soon. Are you people insane? Okay, so I guess I've got to turn up the volume a little bit. Okay? Do you know what it means when a U.S. citizen says to you, don't contact me? Do you know what that means? Obviously not. Now let me tell you something. You don't come into my country, in my hometown, and start pushing your weight around. You don't do that here. This is my land, my people, and let me tell you, there are millions of us. And you know what? We're watching you. And I'm going to tell you, be careful. Are you listening?
We just passed a bill out of our committee not too long ago to increase the fines, to kind of comply with the federal government, so to make sure that anybody that does violate the no-call list will get fined, and it should act as a good deterrent to discourage people from paying a lot of money for making a couple of phone calls.
Consumers have a right to say no, and we have a duty to enforce that right. The best way to enforce the do not call provisions is to make it painful when they violate the law, to increase the penalty.
You know, we just have to protect the groups of people in our state who are vulnerable. And I think Senator Colapitro's bill goes a long way in sending a message to these people. People don't want you to call. If you call, you're going to be fined. So just stop doing it.
AARP found that 56% of the names on mooch lists, and what a mooch list is what these telemarketers call their lists of most likely victims, were 50 or older. Too often the telemarketers succeed in scamming the same people more than once. The state and federal do not call lists have helped substantially to curb abusive telemarketing scams and allowed consumers to restrict unwanted intrusions into their privacy. Senate Bill 187 would strengthen Connecticut's law by increasing the fine for a willful violation from $5,000 to $11,000, matching the federal do not